Good gracious.
All right, good morning. Sorry, technical difficulties, but we're on, ready to go. Chambers County Commissioners Court come to order. This is a regular meeting on Tuesday, 26th day of January, 2021. Posted 9:30 a.m. It's now 9:38 a.m. If you'll all rise, Corey Taylor would be honored to lead us in prayer and the pledges this morning. Corey.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just come in today. Everything you do for us, Lord.
I can't get up for the pledge. I can't hear anything.
Pray
Until I
to
have it on mute.
Today, continue into 21, that you just continue to watch over us and keep us safe, just to protect us, guide us and direct us. Lord, we just ask that you would forgive us for any failures and that you give us
I'll
wisdom
let them go to the courthouse in case they try to hit me.
decision making that we make today. We pray this in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Yep. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. The Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, to Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you, Corey. Mark Ty said no volume at my office. Mark, oh, there you are. Your speakers turned up? Okay. Austin is going to jump in on your computer and see if he can fix that. But we're going to go ahead and move on. Start out, we have one citizen comment. Lauren's going to read that at this time.
This is a public comment from Gloria Romer with the Seabreeze Beacon. Thank you, Judge and Commissioners, for this opportunity to address you. My name is Gloria Romer, Managing Editor and Publisher of the Seabreeze Beacon. Chambers County EMS, under the recommendation of the Chambers County Emergency Services Coordinator, hired a man as a part-time paramedic who has been charged with assault by the Chambers County Attorney's Office. The court date has been postponed several times, recently due to COVID-19. I am asking you to consider rescinding the man's employment with the county until the outcome has been determined in a court of law. I remind you that the victim in this case is a 65-year-old female, 62 years of age at the time of the alleged assault. The man at the time worked as a paramedic for Winnie Stoll EMS. Once the assault charges were filed, the Winnie Stoll EMS board immediately suspended the man pending the outcome of the trial. I am asking you to do the same. Please let the results of the trial play out. Afterwards, you can then decide if you want to hire this person for you in the Chambers County EMS. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you for your comment, ma'am. All right, we're going to go down to safety emergency management. 10.1, discuss and consider designation letter from National Weather Service congratulating Chambers County for storm ready recognition. Proud to have Mr. Dan Riley with National Weather Service on with us today. Ryan, I'll turn it over to you and Dan.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. So Dan, I guess without further ado, if you go ahead and unmute.
Nope.
And
There it is.
I have the sign they sent us here.
Oh, it's interesting how the sign is merging with the background. But
While you're talking, I'll try to turn this background on.
all right, just want to congratulate Chambers County, the judge, Ryan, and all involved
Hang on, baby.
on the preparedness that you all have undertaken. Storm Ready is a program where the National Weather Service recognizes communities that have gone above and beyond as far as severe weather preparedness. And Ryan demonstrated really well thought out, written severe weather plans. The Chambers alert system, reverse 911 type system is very useful for relaying weather information. Basically, Storm Ready recognizes communities that have multiple ways to get information from the Weather Service and to get it out to their citizens, and also is very active in outreach. And so the Alertus beacons is another great way, method that you all use that. Chambers Warrens, as I mentioned, are two great ways. We had a really successful virtual hurricane preparedness event this year that included Chambers County, and y'all were one of the few communities that took that extra step, kind of working with the health situation we're in to make sure your citizens were ready for the hurricane season. So again, we want to congratulate.
See if this works.
No, it's that background that's playing havoc.
Yeah, I can't change it while we're, sorry, Dan.
Oh, it's all right. But what Ryan is showing you is trying to show is a storm ready sign that y'all can display. You're welcome to use that storm ready logo and also earn some community rating system points by having this designation. So, once again, we appreciate the partnership here at the Weather Service with Chambers County. And we face a lot of weather hazards, and it's great going forward that we can continue to commit to the safety of the citizens of Chambers County with respect to severe weather. So congratulations again.
Thank you, Dan. And I want to tell you, we appreciate the partnership that we have with you guys. It's been really good. We depend on, hey, Ryan, you got it. We depend on you folks completely, and we appreciate what you do.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Ryan, good job.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to designation letter from National Weather Service.
So move. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gore. Who seconded it?
Combs.
Mr. Combs?
Yeah.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carries. Thank you again, Dan. Thank you, Ryan.
All right.
Hey, quick question, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Where's our
Go
county
ahead.
owned weather station?
Everything else.
Say it again.
Where's the county owned weather station?
It's worked for a year.
The county-owned weather stations?
Yeah. Where are they located?
It's at the airport, and then we have
Well, I
two
can
more that
do
are
it,
slated.
but how do I get it on the phone?
So say it again, Ryan.
We have one at the airport that's currently online, and then we're working with IT to put two more, one on the east and one on west.
Mark, we can hear you. Hang on a minute, Ryan.
All right.
Can you hear? Can Mark hear?
I don't know, but I can hear him, Judge.
Yeah, I know. Mute him for the moment, Austin, please. And then we'll get it corrected. All right, Ryan, I'm sorry. One more time.
Oh, it's okay. So currently, Commissioner, we have one at the county airport here. I'll be glad to send you the link if you don't have it. But Bill is working with IT to get one on the east side, one on the west side, so that we'll have, 3 major areas covered, so that those links can be shared and you can tune in and see what current weather is.
Good. Thank you, Ryan.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions of Dan or Ryan? All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good day. All right. We're going to go to 1.1, discuss and consider department update. Of course, with what's going on with COVID and the positivity rate, the vaccinations, public health is going to take this spot again and talk about vaccinations and the process. Mary Beth, good morning.
Good morning. We meet again. So good to see y'all this morning. So first thing I'll do is I will kind of give you an update on our current case number in the county. We currently have 338 active cases. This is with a new total of 67 cases. We haven't added those to the dashboard yet. Those are new cases from January 22nd to the 24th. So we have a total of 3,721 cases in the county, again, with 338 active cases, 3,352 recovered cases. We currently have 14 known hospitalizations. And again, it's really difficult for us to track hospitalizations, but those are known hospitalizations. We have 31 reported deaths, and currently to date, a little over 19,000 tested. And so we continue to monitor hospitalizations in our region, in the trauma service area region, R and Q, which is the Southeast region. the Beaumont, Galveston that we're in, and then also the Houston region, because we know that, a lot of our patients are in those hospitalizations, but they've still been well over 15%. So we know that that won't change anytime soon. We're still pushing all of the public health measures, masking, social distancing, wearing the face mask, hand washing, and also educating kids and teenagers and just really pushing that consistent messaging. So vaccines. So I think since the last time we talked, Chambers County was designated as a vaccination hub, which we're really excited about. Is a rural county. We know that between Harris County and Louisiana border, that Chambers County is going to be the next stop for us. And as a designated rural county, we need to be able to supply 200 to 400 vaccinations a day, or, somewhat averaging out 6 days a week. We don't have to do it daily, but somewhere offer, that many vaccinations a week, as a total. So we had our first drive-through on Saturday. We vaccinated 340, which we were happy about. And the goal of that vaccination site on Saturday was to test the registration system, as well as get our pod site, our work, our flow, our throughput, our timing down. One of the requirements to be a vaccination hub, do you want me to wait, Judge? Okay. Was one of the requirements to be a vaccination hub is, of course, we had to upload all of our information into MTRAC within 24 hours, which is a state vaccination registry. So manually entering in all of those vaccination registration records is a daunting task for our staff. So being able to have a really good, adequate registration system is paramount for us to be able to do this task. So we started on a smaller scale on Saturday. We have fantastic partnerships throughout the county, Mont Belvieu EMS, Winnie EMS, as well as all of our county employee partnerships. We had a great pod site on Saturday, and we had a throughput of 340. We could have done, triple that number, we know, but again, we needed to make sure that this went well. We do have a couple more sites set up for the next week. Excuse me. We don't release that information in advance, only because it'll crash our site and we start getting a lot of phone calls in advance. So just know that we have a couple more planned for this week, and we will be releasing that information soon. To date, we have 6 registered vaccination providers in the county. That includes 2 pharmacies, 3 healthcare providers, as well as Chambers County Public Health. Our goal is to get as many people vaccinated as we can, and we're also here to facilitate those other registered vaccination providers, their ability to vaccinate those in 1A, which is first responders, and 1B, those who are over 65 and those with a qualifying health condition. So we're here to help them, and we realize that there's those who are over 65 who are having difficulty registering, and just know we will continue to meet to help get those to those people who were over 65. We were reaching out to our 211, to our senior centers. We realize that, and we are doing everything we can, and we will continue to reach that population. That is also one of the requirements of us to be as a hub, is to reach those hardest hit zip codes as well as those over 65. So we are working hard together, and we have a lot of highly trained people to be able to do those things. So we are working specifically on those requirements, and we will reach those populations. We are able to vaccinate as we are allocated doses. So if we run out of doses on Saturday, we're at the state's mercy to be able to get more doses. So we want to run out every single week. I mean, that is our goal, is to run out, and the states see that we ran out and they give us 1,200 more doses. And so that is our goal. So it's a good thing. And I know that's a lot of information. I tend to talk fast, but I want you to have that information, and I want you to send me questions. We don't have a waiting list. It's not possible for you to keep a waiting list at your office. It's not possible for us to have a waiting list. We do have a phone bank for those seniors that have difficulty registering. That is the goal of our phone bank, is to help them during that time, and there's a time set aside for that. I will talk to you offline about that, but that's what I need you to do, is to send us those questions you have. But again, it's not possible for everybody to keep a waiting list. We have a system in place to register those people.
Okay, for the record, Commissioner Tice is on the phone, so he's listening in while Austin works on his computer. Mark, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Judge.
Okay. Questions for me, Beth?
Yeah, have any questions? We've to date in the county, have, I want to say, vaccinated about 25 or 2,600 ourselves as a group. I did not get on Tableau right before, but other entities throughout Southeast Texas have also vaccinated Chambers County residents. So I don't have that number to give you, but just know that it'll increase every week. And Amtrak lags behind about a week to update those numbers. But I've been sending y'all emails. I hope you're reading them. So I will update my emails to include those numbers. Also, our dashboard that on our website and on Facebook, we're going to add a new section to include immunizations. So I'll entertain any questions.
I'd like to, just comment, I really appreciate you reaching out to the 65 and older group, because they are going to be the least tech savvy of any group we're getting. And I know I personally, landed a few calls from some elderly people that do not have computers, and, it's kind of hard to reach those. So, information you can pump out to us as early as possible, because by the time we got it last time, registration's already full.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Got it.
Yeah, and we're reaching out through the 211. Okay, Mark, I'm gonna disconnect you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. We're doing everything we can to reach out to us elderly folks, 65.
Anybody else? Yeah, the registration filled up I'll just let you know, the registration filled up in 7 minutes. We shut the link off. And by the time we got the link off, we registered actually 200 more people, which I was happy about, but actually 200 more people in the time we shut it off got registered. So but anyway, send me any questions or, ideas or anything, just send them my way. We're happy to entertain that.
Okay. No other questions? Thank you, Mary Beth. Thank you for what all you guys are doing over there.
One more thing, Judge, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I do want to say a big thank you to everyone who did help. I mean, we have an amazing team and y'all know that, but if you see anyone, or tell them thank you and tell them be ready, because we're not done. This has to go on for a long time. So thank you for the support.
Yeah, I took several departments for that drive-through hub, and everyone did an amazing job. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Mary Beth. Okay. 1.2. Discuss and consider proclamation recognizing United Way of Greater Baytown area and Chambers County for 75 years of being instrumental in creating a thriving community and continue to be a valuable resource to residents. Commissioner Combs, would you like to read that? Since you've already done it once.
I better unmute here. So, all right. Proclamation, United Way of Greater Baytown area and Chambers County. Whereas Tri-Cities and East Harris Community Chest was chartered in January 1946. Whereas the organization focused on consolidating fundraising and management efforts, supporting community health, war relief, and services and programs for returning war veterans. Whereas the community chest increased capacity and geographic territory involving into United Way of Greater Baytown and Chambers County with a mission to develop, promote, and support solutions designed to meet targeted community needs. Whereas United Way and greater agencies dedicated volunteers to work collaboratively to improve the quality of life for our community through local programs focused on education, financial stability, and health. Whereas United Way of Greater Baytown and Chambers County, formed 75 years ago, has been instrumental in creating a thriving community and continues to be a valuable resource to our residents. Signed this 15th day of January, 2021. Thank you, Judge. I move for acceptance.
Motion by Commissioner Combs,
Second.
second by Commissioner Hammond. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations to the United Way of Greater Baytown. Thank you for all that you do. All right, under financial 2.1, discuss and consider third quarter investment report from the county auditor. You've all had a chance to look at it, and I'll entertain a motion to accept the third quarter investment report.
So move, Judge.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Gore, second by Commissioner Combs. Questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Road and Bridge. We got a minute before we. And by the time I get it said and done, it'll be 10 o'clock. So 3.1, public hearing at 10 a.m. regarding the proposed regulation on speed limits on dead-end roads in Chambers County. No, we're not ready. Let me get Corey in here. All right, it's 10 a.m. We are going to recess out of the regular session of Commissioners Court. Going to public hearing at this time. There were no public comments sent in regarding the end roads, the speed limits on the dead end roads in Chambers County. Are there any public comments from commissioners at this time? Corey, went to public hearing on the dead end roads. All right, here none. 10:01, we will recess out of the public hearing and go back into regular session of Commissioners Court. 3.2, discuss and consider a proposed regulation on speed limits on dead end roads in Chambers County. Corey.
This is something we've been trying to work towards for quite some time. Had the attorneys looking into the options here, and I think this is a great solution for being able to speed the process in the future and provide safe speed limits for the citizens.
So what, is there actually a speed limit?
So this would be, I think, 30 miles per hour on dead end roads, not in subdivisions.
I'm sorry, Corey, that was 30 miles an hour on dead end.
30 miles an hour on dead end roads that are not in subdivisions.
That's correct.
Now, is that at our discretion? Can it be a little bit lower if the road is shorter, or have we discussed that?
That is not what Ryan came up with.
So I guess, so if you set it for all dead end roads that are not in subdivisions at 30, you could always come back and lower it for a specific road.
So actually, I think what Ryan discovered was 30 mile an hour, unless it's an alley, is the minimum.
Is that regulations?
It goes to state regulations.
Oh, that's what I need to say.
Corey, why would it not be applicable to subdivisions?
Well, because subdivisions already have regulations that are approved separately. I mean, it could apply to a subdivision, but.
Is there any reason why you wouldn't? I mean, I don't know.
No, I think we could I think it's just simple to say all dead end roads, I think is within the county.
Okay, I'm gonna be a devil's advocate here. And what if you've got a dead end road that's a mile or 2 miles long?
Getting Ryan Erickson on the phone with us, it's county attorney's office. Hey, Ryan, you're in Commissioner's Court.
Yes, sir.
In case there's a question for you. We're talking about, are you listening in? Are you watching the court? All right, you know where we are then. All right, so Billy's question was, what if you got a dead end road that's 2 miles long? And nobody lives on it? And so if you set all dead end roads, including subdivisions, all dead end roads at 30 miles an hour, then you can take those special occasions, special, like Billy just said, the dead end road that's 2 miles long that nobody lives on it, one house thing under, or two houses or whatever. You come back and go through the process to raise it or lower it at some point.
An engineering study would always override that.
Okay.
So basically the way it works is 30 mile an hour. minimum-
Okay,
minimum that you can-
hang on, Ryan.
Oh, sorry.
Speak up just a little more. I think they're having a hard time hearing you. Go ahead.
So the 30 mile an hour limit is the minimum that you can do for non-residential, non-school zones without an engineering study. You can always come back with an engineering study if you need to go lower for some sort of reason. But you can always raise a speed limit without an engineering study as well, up to like 70 or 75 mile an hour maximum.
Okay, did everybody hear that?
Mhm.
I know Ryan's a little soft-spoken like me. Okay, so good. Any other questions?
Do you have to post a speed limit sign?
Yes, absolutely. The speed limit will not go into effect until signs are posted.
Okay, yeah, because 30 don't work on my road at all. So
So
more like
needs to
10.
You know, and that's the reason I was asking if the
Yeah.
road is shorter and you have multiple houses on there, which is what I've been encountering. And that's the reason I was wondering if, I mean, but from what he's saying, we have to come back and do an engineering study to lower it below the 30. So, I mean, I understand that.
So Commissioner Hammond, do you have a speed limit sign at all?
No, sir.
Yeah, it wouldn't we wouldn't install them on all roads. It's only where we're requested. So,
Okay.
and I mean, you can always drive less, but the problem is what you're going to run into is an 85th percentile speed is what is required by state requirements for a speed study, which means that most people desire a speed limit sign because they feel like people are driving too fast on the roadway. And so they want to slow people down with a speed limit sign. Well, the problem is the engineering study actually regulates, it shows what people are actually driving, and that's essentially what you're supposed to set the speed limit at. There's some different provisions, but essentially that's the rules. And so if you go out and show what people are driving and that, the citizens say, well, they're driving too fast. Well, that's what it's going to show essentially. And then you're going to end up posting it for something that's not going to make the people happy for what they requested. So in my opinion, this is the best case scenario for those situations.
So make sure everyone heard what Corey said. We're not going to go out and put speed limit signs on every dead end road. Unless Commissioner Hammond requests the speed limit sign be placed, then.
And I'm sitting here reading one of the things from the Texas Association of Counties from Jim Allenson, and he's saying exactly what Ryan and Corey is saying, that a county can lower speed limits to individual roads, maximum of 60 miles, or can set speed limit maximum of 60 miles an hour and no lower than 30 miles an hour without doing a traffic study. So if we're going to go lower than that, we have to do a traffic study, just like Ryan said.
And
Fine with it, Judge.
Allison does.
We need a motion, Judge.
Need a motion to propose regulation on speed limits on dead end roads in Chambers County.
That'd be my motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Commissioner Gore, second by Commissioner Combs. And the motion is on dead end roads. So that includes subdivision. You're good with that. And Ryan, you're good with that. Okay. Got a motion second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Ryan. All right, is BJ on?
He's in there only one.
Okay, yeah, you can let him in. Do you have anything else, Corey?
Just.
Just on the,
Well, we'll call you over if we need you. You're gonna be close. I mean, you're welcome to stay there.
Okay, BJ.
All right, economic development and tourism, 5.1. Discuss and consider Plastic Express Project Navy tax abatement application and incentive recommendation. BJ Simon, the new executive director. What's your new title, BJ? Congratulations, but tell me your new title, please.
President CEO, Judge.
President CEO.
Thank you.
Well,
Good morning. Thank you.
Proud of you.
Well, thank you. It's
I got a text from Mike Shields yesterday. He said that's what he had tried to do for a year now. So we're all glad.
Congratulations.
What you've done, and we appreciate what you do, and glad to see that's recognized.
Thank you very much, Judge and Commissioners.
Okay. Project Navy.
Very good. The item we have before you is a second, action. If you recall, last court took action to accept the application that was presented by Plastic Express and Project Navy. As a matter of reminder, this is a project that's been in due diligence for quite some time. It's a 820,000 square foot facility that's going to be built. Will create anywhere between 90 and 150 full-time jobs. Construction is expected to start in the second quarter of 2021. They've augmented their application with an additional cover letter to specify a specific request for the term of the abatement, consistent with recent abatements that have been approved by the court for two projects, mainly very similar projects, Project Redfish, which is the Ravago project, and then Project Quartz in Ameriport. And so that ask has been specific, which was not detailed in their original cover letter. What we've done, which has been the practice over the last couple of years, is provided some context for the court to consider, this request and a recommendation. So there's a cover letter and recommendations that illustrates the potential economic impact of 100 jobs in this sector, and the direct and indirect and induced impacts to the county. So that's what's on the first page of the recommendation. And moving forward, given the industry sector, obviously this is a growing industry sector, capital investment and potential for continued investment. If you recall in the presentation at last court, what was envisioned for Project Navy initially was 1.6 million square feet of space, which is eventually going to be phase 2. And the suspicion is that given the recovery that's occurring in the plastics industry, that at some point, as soon as the completion of phase 1, they would be moving forward with phase 2. But what's recommended to the court for consideration is to approve the application, which was accepted last court, including the variance request and to include 10-year term at 55% abatement. What's also provided in your packet is a preliminary model based upon the expected value of the project and the expected revenue that would be derived not only from ad valorem tax, but annual inventory tax over the term of the abatement.
So say it again, BJ, you need a motion to approve the application?
Yes, sir. To approve the application and the term of abatement that's recommended.
I'll make a motion to accept that abatement and application.
Second.
Did somebody second? Billy?
I did.
Second by Commissioner Combs. All right, any questions?
One question for BJ. What would the inventory, what's the expected inventory that we would start getting on that project?
Yes, sir. When you look at the model, Commissioner Combs, the inventory as noted in the assumptions on the spreadsheet. This
Page 23, Billy.
I'm sorry.
Page 23, sorry, BJ.
Mm-hmm. They expect to, have at least 34 metric tons of inventory through there on a given month, every month. And so the idea is that at rendering on January 1 over the abatement term, at minimum, they would have 34 metric tons or 75 million pounds of resin physically in that facility. The assumption of revenue is based upon a current resin price of 50 cents per pound. Now, there's been a resurgence in polyethylene plastics across a number of different types of plastics, the linear low density, high density, low density, and light. So that 50 cents per pound is sort of a moderate estimate. Ranges in price, depending on the product, could be anywhere from 50 cents per pound or 75 cents per pound or 1,100. This estimate here is based upon $1,100 per metric ton. And so we hold that constant. So that's the assumption, is based upon 50 cents per pound and having 34 metric tons of inventory at rendering in January 1.
Thank you, BJ. Yeah, BJ, Judge, I knew it was there. I just wanted to let BJ elaborate on that a little bit. Plus,
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad,
Plus on year
I'm glad he
one,
pointed it out.
just on property taxes in year one, even with the abatement, we're getting over $130,000 plus the tax on $37 million worth of resin. So it's not
Right.
bad.
Yes, yeah, that's a very good point. Thank you, Commissioner, for the opportunity. The inventory along with ad valorem tax over the term of the abatement would be $3.5 million revenue for the county.
Good. All right. Any other questions? Hear none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, BJ.
Thank you, Commissioners. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, Parks and Recreation, 6-1, discuss, consider naming the updated Spotts Loop Park facility in honor of Cedric Green. Mr. Gore, take this.
Yes, sir. This is the park off the Spikes Loop right that we had just rehabbed and laid down the asphalt and put up new goals in the fence. And I would just recommend that we name the facility in honor of the gentleman that donated the land to the county. That'd be my motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gore, second by Commissioner Tice. Questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 6.2, discuss and consider naming the updated basketball court in Hancomer to honor of Charles Pep Childress. Commissioner Gore.
Yes, sir. This is the gentleman that actually started the first basketball court in that area by putting up the goal and everything. I've learned the history on that, and just to honor him and his name, to name the court after him. That'll be my motion.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tice, motion by Commissioner Gore, second by Commissioner Tice. And I think this is great recognizing these folks out there. Why don't we get Sam to put together a resolution that will be in the court from now on, honoring these two and doing the naming. We can go ahead and do it, but then we can do the resolution next court.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I got a motion second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Hey,
Those,
Commissioner Gore?
yes.
Could you elaborate on that first goal? What was it made out of?
The backboard was a piece of plywood that they found, and the goal itself was a old bicycle rim, actually. And when they would dunk the basketball, they'd have to go over and straighten the goal back up. So there's a lot of history.
But it worked.
It worked.
Go. All right, maintenance and buildings, discuss and consider approving change proposal request number 30 from N&T Construction for landscaping at the Juanita Hargraves Memorial Library, $20,440.
Yes. Is Mike there, or you want me to elaborate on it, Judge?
You can elaborate. We'll get Mike on the phone if we need to. Go ahead.
This is just, this is coming out of the contingency, so it's already in the budget. That we had like 40 something thousand left over in contingency. So we figured we would dress up the outside of the library to make it more apparent. And that's where this area is coming for. And I recommend we go ahead and approve.
Motion by Commissioner Gore.
Second.
Second by, was that Billy? Commissioner
Give it
Cone?
to Hammond. He needs one.
Motion second by Commissioner Hammond.
I think we was
We
tied.
got a motion now.
I'll break
Unders,
it, Tommy. You got him.
I got a motion by Commissioner Gore, second by Commissioner Hammond. Any other questions?
Aye.
Favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Hey, Judge,
Yes, sir.
it was my understanding that, I mean, they're gonna be moving into the library within this week or so, I mean, we'll make sure and let the public know that as well, so I mean, it's
Good. Yeah, I'm sure we'll have a ribbon cutting pretty
a
quick.
press release.
All right, sounds good. Airports, 13-1, discuss and consider funding the textile proposed master plan survey. Aaron, did you get any information on that? Oh, he's on the phone. Oh, come in here and say it. Oh, yes. All right, I'm not sure. It says FY 2020, so I'm a little confused on when the money is a budget. Does it need to be budgeted for 2022? I'm not sure why it's been asked for right now. And we tried to get some information on it yesterday and couldn't, so I say we table it for next court.
I agree, Judge.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, 13-1 is tabled. Fifth, under mosquito control, 15-1, discuss and consider agreement with LJA Engineering for continued maintenance of the Chambers County mosquito control pesticide general permit for 2021, the amount of $8,800. And if you didn't know it, Alan Sims for the county, for the county a long time has left. As of Friday was the last day with LJA. He's gone to work for Jefferson County Drainage District number 6.
Seven.
Right, Jimmy?
7.
6 or 7 one. Anyway, we're gonna miss him. He's done a lot of good work for the county. Entertain a motion to approve the LJA contract.
So moved, Judge.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Tice, second by Commissioner Gore. Questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. All right, we'll need to get Kat on the phone for 18-1 and 18-2. So let's go down to the consent and start off with precinct 4.
Okay, is Mike around?
Which Mike?
Maintenance.
We can get him.
It's no big deal. There was just a typo in the thing for number 14, and he and I spoke about it yesterday. Just so he gets that typo fixed, we'll be okay on it.
Okay.
And then number 15, I wanted to make sure I spoke with Corey, make sure he looked at the scope for Freeze Nichols in that contract.
Corey? Did you hear that question? All right. Billy, ask it again, please.
Yeah, Corey, did you take a look at the scope for Freeze Nichols?
Did you
in
take
the
a
contract?
look at scope for Freeze Nichols on 1915 for the completion of the countywide drainage study? Texas Water Development Board. He said he hadn't.
All right. I just like to
get to
approve it contingent upon him looking at it when we do.
Well, look, all right. So you want to go let's go ahead and vote on 15. Motion by Commissioner Combs to approve contingent on the
Corey's review, engineers review it as
county engineer.
Right.
Do I have a second?
Second, Judge.
Motion by Commissioner Combs, second by Commissioner Tice. Any other questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. All right, what else, Billy?
Okay, number 31, 1931, on the lease for the airport. Why are we bringing this back? We approved that some time ago. It's actually already been signed. Your signature is on there.
Lauren said there was date issues, reasons coming back.
And Ryan was gonna look into it, and it was gonna get approved pending Ryan's recommendation. We just ran it back through to
Oh, it's already been approved, but so for the record, we're running it back through court.
Good. All right.
Okay.
All right, Judge.
All right, anything else, Billy?
That's it.
All right, precinct 3. Commissioner Hammond, anything on the consent?
No, sir, I just had the same question. I think that Billy did about 15. I wasn't sure whether it was under the economic development group.
Okay. All right, precinct 2, Mark.
Good, Judge.
Precinct 1, Commissioner Gore.
No, Judge, I mean, I made all my phone calls yesterday and get everything lined down. I appreciate it.
All right. Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda except for 15. It's already been approved.
So moved, Judge.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Tice, second by Commissioner Hammond. Those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. So did you get Kent? Okay, we're going to take a quick break. It's 10:24. We'll come back at 10:30 and hopefully we'll have Kat on the line with us one way or the other. All right, thank you. Good morning, Kat.
Morning.
Okay, we're under personnel. Court come to order, after recess, 10:36 a.m. Under personnel, 18-1, discuss and consider electronic payroll transition and contract addition with Tyler Technologies for $29,707, annual subscription of additional $14,107. Kat.
Sir. So this is something that we've been discussing on and off for the past 8 months or so. This is to transition to electronic payroll. The contract with Tyler Technology is to have full access to ESS time and attendance. Right now, we only have partial access to it. So this will allow for electronic timesheets and fully electronic payroll. The third party NeoGov, currently Tyler Technology offers about 90% of what we need to go fully electronic. They contract out to other to third party vendors for the remaining items, and NeoGov is one of those vendors, and I chose to go with NeoGov because we already currently have a contract with them for some other services that we utilize them for. And NeoGov will pick up the slack where Tyler drops off. In the case of new hires, everything will automatically upload into Encode. For new hires, we'll be able to automatically calculate overtime rate, adjusted overtime rate. All of the calculations will be automatic instead of manual. And we'll also be able to pull more reports. So when we're trying to get information for FEMA or any of our disasters, we'll be able to pull reports that we don't have access to right now by using NeoGov in conjunction with Tyler Technologies. So I am requesting approval of the addition of the software contracts in order to smoothly transition, and hopefully, if approved, everything will be in place by March of 2021.
I have a quick question if I could.
Yes, sir.
We currently have the capability of making direct deposits.
Yes, sir.
So how do we do that now, but yet we need all the software in addition to it? Are we manually doing that now? That's just taking more time and this will automatically do it or what?
This is not in reference to direct deposit. This is in reference to timekeeping. So right now we do all paper timesheets. We manually calculate overtime rate, adjusted overtime rate, any disaster pay, all of that stuff is done manually currently. And so this gives us the option to utilize Tyler technology to its full capabilities. Right now, all of those items are shut off in Tyler, including leave. So when anyone takes leave for the county, we have to manually input that information. So it's taking all of our manual processes and making them electronic, including our timesheets, which is something that a lot of people actually, when we had the COVID and the disasters in 2020, everybody was having to email and fax in their timesheets, and a lot of people rather it electronic. Currently, we're having to keep up with over 545 employees, and everyone who's working the disaster, their daily logs, we're having to do all of that manually. So this just transitions that to electronic.
So when an employee turns in their timesheet now, it's a paper timesheet and they turn it in, and it's picked up and it's manually inputted. So how will they turn in their time once this is online?
It'll all be online. So currently everyone in the county has access to ESS. ESS is the employee self-service portal. So everyone in the county currently has access to that. You can go online and you can get every pay stub that you have ever had for, since you began working with the county, your W-2, so on and so forth. You can also change your address and everything like that through ESS. Our timesheets are actually in Encode. We just don't utilize it. We only have 3 departments currently that use ESS, but because we have to do everything manually, even though they're inputting their time electronically, they still have to print out and bring a timesheet to us. This will stop that. They will no longer have to do that. So whenever time is entered electronically, we can still set it up how it is now, where some departments utilize their secretaries to input time for everyone. And then some departments, each person puts in their timesheet. We can still do that electronically, and we can set up all the managerial controls that we need to ensure that when someone enters their time, it still goes through the same chain of command prior to it coming to HR for approval.
Okay, thank you. That helps a lot.
Yes.
Now,
Okay, and talking with Aaron and Bill Vola, this is essential for disaster. And because when FEMA comes back and wants to see it, we got to go dig it up. We got to go out, build it, and find it. So this is essential to have. So
this should make it a lot easier.
To go with it. So go ahead,
Commissioner. This should make it a lot easier on auditing on everything. Everything be electronic. Just send it over to them. Not have to worry about coming over and making copies. And this should about supervisors and elected officials. How do we? Are we going to do electronic signature on timesheets for that, or how do we approve the time now? Oh, would we? Because I signed the timesheets now.
So once it goes electronic, it'll show up in your ESS or in your Encode. So it'll be an electronic signature, and it's going to be date stamped. And all of that information, like you said, will be available for auditing or Aaron or the treasurer's office or anyone who needs it. And just to give a small example, when we were trying to get an accounting of all the monies that was used from the CARES Act, each department that needed to get that information had to come over, and they had to make copies of over 2,000 timesheets. This would eliminate that. So now they'll be able to pull a report. They'll be able to export anything that they need because it'll all be in Encode and in ESS.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I know it. I mean, I know y'all put in a lot of extra hours and time doing all that because of the number of employees and all the disaster pay and everything on there. So I think this will be a great deal to move forward on. Judge, you want motion on one?
Yeah, not yet. Let's go to 18. So how does 18.1 and 18.2 fit together?
So NeoGov is what Tyler uses, is one of the vendors that Tyler uses to integrate information. So NeoGov is like the human capital portion of it. So all of our new hire information, they'll be able to, NeoGov and Tyler work together we'll be able to enter all of the pay codes mass in a group instead of having to do it one by one like we do now. And it helps with the calculations. Right now, Tyler does not have the full capabilities to do it on its own. They said they're a couple years away from it. So the hope is that once they transition and get everything, that we'll be able to just go solely with them and we won't need NeoGov in a couple of years is the hope and the plan.
Hey, Kat.
Yes, sir.
Now I know you and I discussed that there's still a few employees that don't do direct deposit, don't do something like that. I mean, how are we going to accommodate them? Or is that going to be an option?
Each employee in reference to direct deposit that have had an issue, they've all come into me. So I've spoken to them one-on-one. So far, last payroll, we only had 17 individuals that had a printed check. 50% of those individuals have already turned in a direct deposit form. And there's only one or two that we're accommodating differently. Some have asked for if we can do a card. Some have asked for assistance in getting a banking account. So we've spoken to those individuals one-on-one.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Did that answer your question, Judge?
Yes, ma'am, it did. So this should have had a rec and pie with it, showing that the money is not budgeted at HR, that it'll come out of capital contingency.
Yes.
Important if we do it. If you decide, if you want to approve it today, we can approve it, bring it back to court with a rec and pie next court. But just for the record, it is going to come out of capital contingency. And
I have the rec and pie. I actually sent them to Aaron. I can forward it to everyone if you'd like.
it just needs to be a part of the commissioner's court record.
Okay.
So, what'd you say, Aaron? All right, 18-1. I'll entertain a motion.
Question.
Our question.
Yeah, question. We plan on rolling out some training sessions for these guys, how to input their time and work codes and all that, or?
It broke up a little bit, sir. Could you repeat yourself?
Are you going to, go ahead, Tommy.
We're gonna roll out some type of training sessions for the employees to understand how the system works and how to use the right work codes and that kind of information.
Yes, sir. Right now, the plan is to have several different training sessions. We're going to start training with the department heads and the secretaries who input time in those departments. And then we're going to have sessions with each department and all of their employees to show them how to access their time, so on and so forth. And ahead of that, we have been sending out emails countywide, and we've also been doing step-by-step instructions because a lot of people did not realize that they had access to ESS or even what ESS was.
Right.
So we've been sending out instructions to everybody over the last month or so. And we're going to continue to do that on how to access ESS and what it's about. And so we're just going to continue that process and hopefully have all of the training completed if approved by April, May, so that everyone understands and knows what their role is.
Okay, great. Yeah, there'll be some skepticism for a while.
Anytime you change.
Oh, yeah.
But we're planning a department head meeting also pretty quick, so we can, hit the big picture department head meeting, then you can do the others that you're discussing.
Are
Commissioner,
any of our departments using time sheets now, time clocks?
Road and Bridge is currently using a time clock.
Can that be integrated into the system?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I actually, in researching all of this, I actually did over 6 months worth of research. And not only did I do several demos with NeoGov and Tyler in reference to this, but I reached out to over 100 counties, and we sat in on payroll for several other counties that use Encode and Tyler Technologies and NeoGov, and watch their process on how they do everything and how to set up. And so that sitting in on those payroll is what actually helped us make the decision on how to go and what services to utilize to move forward.
Judge, I'll move for approval.
Second, Judge.
Motion by Commissioner Combs, second by Commissioner Tice. On 15-1. Any questions? Other questions? Those in favor? In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 18-2. I'll entertain a motion, or if you have questions.
So moved, Judge.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Tice, second by Commissioner Gore. In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I think we are done, down to executive session, and we need Kat for that. So number 20, deliberation regarding, 20.1, discuss, consider clarification, possible update to approve FFCRA, Families First Coronavirus Response Act extension approval from Commissioners Court dated January 12th. So at this time, was there something else and we need to take to executive session? Under personnel? No. All right, at 10:50 a.m., we will recess to executive session under personnel, section 55107 for the government code. All right, Chambers County Court come to order. Executive session is 10:58 a.m. And actually 20.1 inadvertently got put under executive session. So we're going to discuss it in open court, and I'll turn it over to you, Kat.
So this is for clarification to the approval of the extension of FFCRA. FFCRA, as mentioned last court, it was to provide up to 14 days for employees who were quarantined or due to Corona. And so last court, my letter to the court addressed extending that through June of 2021 for employees who have not been quarantined yet. But I had also mentioned that that the court could also approve extending it for the county as a whole, whether or not they'd been quarantined in 2020. After it was approved, I did not receive clarification on which was being approved, whether or not it was just for employees who have not been quarantined, or if it was being quarantined, or if it was being approved for everyone as a whole. After court, a couple of elected officials did approach me and address some concern over the fact that some county employees have been quarantined multiple times, and this will cause them to now use their benefit time if they happen to be quarantined again. So what I'm asking is for clarification on what is being approved, if it's being approved for persons who have not been quarantined yet, or if the court would approve, I lost my words.
My understanding of what was approved was a one-time 2-week quarantine for the coronavirus.
That was exactly my understanding also, Judge.
Okay, and if it's something different, then we need to, do something different, but. Yeah, I know, and Lauren reminded, we talked about per year, but that's not what was approved that I recall. It was
No,
approved.
that wasn't what was approved, but when they're quarantined, and I'm just asking for clarification, Judge and Kat, when they're quarantined, is that money, is that being refunded like the rest of the COVID stuff and I mean,
One time, 2 week period.
Okay.
14
Okay.
days is
Okay,
being
so-
refunded at 75% now. Well, no, it's not because
Not as of
it was being refunded, Jimmy, under the CARES Act, but it no longer is because the CARES Act expired at the end of the year. It may be reinstated.
Okay,
But so far it hadn't.
So like we were saying earlier, we've had multiple people quarantined, positive or negative, at least twice. And I mean, so I was just wondering how we rolled that over. I mean, if the county would do it. I mean, because all that's going through our health department. I mean, I hate to see someone lose their vacation or their time on something like that when it's out of their control. But I mean, that's up
I do
to,
too, but we have a pretty generous sick leave too that
I agree.
people abuse, I know. And hopefully this will make them say, hey, maybe I do need to save that for a catastrophe, a pandemic.
And I just don't know how we can afford to keep paying and paying. I mean, we've got a budget too.
Okay, so it's going to remain as the one-time benefit for employees who have not yet been quarantined. They get the benefit of the 14 days and then revisit in June of 2021, correct?
Hey, Judge,
Yes.
can we reapproach it if the CARES Act gets reinstated?
Sure we can. We can reapproach it at any time. And if it's retroactive, we could, I don't know any reason why we couldn't make it retroactive and take care of those that maybe had a second quarantine. And, part of the issue, some folks aren't being careful. And so, you get quarantined. Yeah, I go out and party next weekend. Not me, okay, but Aaron goes out and parties next weekend, and he's quarantined again because, and then he does it again. It's a mess, I know, and it's sad that we're in the shape we're in, our employees also. But I agree, we can come back and look at it, Commissioner Gore.
That's what I think we need to do, Judge.
All right, so no action on 20.1. Good with that?
I'm good with that.
Kat, you good with that?
Yes, sir.
You clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kat.
Thank you.
11:04 a.m. That's probably really a record. Nothing further to come before the court. We are adjourned. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Judge.
You guys.
Thank you, Judge.